Hello everyone! Welcome back to the Little HK Knits Knitting Podcast. I am so sorry I have not been able to post in a very long time. Between schoolwork, organizations, and I was sick for a while, so I was not able to podcast or knit for quite some time, but hopefully now I will be able to post on a more regular basis. Hopefully. So I think I'm just going to start off with just starting it all over from scratch. So today is Sunday, November 22nd. And to those of you who are new viewers, I thank you for joining me. And my name is Hillary. And you can find me on Instagram and YouTube as Little HK Knits, and on Ravelry as Knitting by Hillary. And I guess a little bit about myself. I am 20 years old. I live in Wisconsin, and I am a sophomore in college studying elementary education. And I have been knitting for 5 years. And yeah, so just a little insight. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. I also have a rabbit, and his name is Luck. And I will try to post pictures at the end of the videos as often as I can, but there probably won't be any at this video because it's a bit cold outside, and I just don't want to venture outside because, well, more about that later. So, as I said, I have been knitting for 5 years, and I have many finished objects that I will show you, and some of them are from like my past, but I figured why not, since I have like a lot of the same finished objects, I might as well throw in some that I have finished a long time ago just to give it some variation. So without further ado, I will show you my finished objects, and I am so sorry for all the crinkling. I kind of put them in here to preserve them. So I have been knitting dishcloths that I plan on selling for a fundraiser that I will get into more after I show you all of my finished dishcloths. So these ones, I have 2 of the same, and they're all made out of cotton, and I knitted them on size 7 needles. I believe this one is the, I can't remember the name of this one, but I will post it in the show notes, which I'm still trying to figure out how to post those. So bear with me, but I will post it in the show notes. So these ones are made out of, on size 7 needles, and these have just got like little, I don't know how well you can see that. There we go. It's got like some green, some blue, and a little bit of beige mixed in there. So this is just the standard dishcloth, and I haven't woven in the ends because I'll wait till the very end after I have a whole bunch of them done to do that. So I made 2 of the ones of the green, blue, and beige. So there's those. And then I made one out of some yarn that someone had given me. Well, actually a lot of these are made with yarn that people had given me. So this one's got some purple, some yellow, and some blue and some white. And then I kind of ran out of some yarn, so I had to put a different little contrast color to add the little corner. So hopefully it looks good. So this is one more. So in total I have finished, I think, 8 or 9. I think it's 8. So here's just a simple beige colored one. So, and I plan on selling these for a fundraiser for one of the Christian orgs that I belong to on campus. And they have this conference coming up in July, and it's a month long, and it's up in Michigan, which is in the northern part of the US if you aren't from the US. And it's just like a leadership conference that teaches you how to become a leader on campus and how to put that into practice when you graduate from college and get a job. And I just thought it would be a really cool opportunity just to learn to become a better leader. But I'll talk about more of that later. Huh, tangent is done. And this one is, okay, the computer is not showing it as a bright lime green, but it's a very bright lime green. And this is probably one of my favorite ones for right now, but they're all going to be my favorites, so. So I like making the same thing over and over again, if you haven't noticed. But it's fun. And then this is a purple one that it's like a light, well, not like a light purple, it's like a lavender color, which purple is my favorite color, and I just love how this turned out. So hopefully there'll be more of these, hopefully. And then this one was actually some yarn that my mom had gotten me when they had the cotton yarn on sale. So this one is a rainbow colored one. It's got some green, some blue, some yellow, some pink, and some purple. And I think this is going to be one that probably many people will like, so probably have to buy some more of this. But I wish they would sell this in like a cone color, like in the big cotton yarn cones, so you can make like a whole bunch of them instead of having to buy just like the little tiny skeins, and then you can only get like 1.5 dishcloths out of it, and then you have to go buy more. So hopefully I can find some rainbow colors like this in big, in bulk sizes. So, because I like this one. This is one of my favorites. And I made a teal colored one, which looks a little bit lighter on the camera, but I got this one in a giant cone, and so I can probably make a whole lot more of these, but I'll probably end up mixing some colors together just to give it some variation instead of just making the same single colored dishcloths, because that gets boring after a while. Not that I mind, but gotta use the imagination sometime. So that's another one. And then I just finished this one today, which this one I think it's like some darker pink, some light pink, and some white. But I guess in other words, you could also think of it as like the as like, you know, that taffy stuff, like candy cane stuff like that. So you can think of it as like a candy cane Christmas colored one. So I think if I can get some more of these ones done and get them done in time for Christmas, then people would use these as nice little Christmas gifts because they're in the seasonal colors. So hopefully I can get some more of this and continue to make them, because I was planning on selling them for I think $5 a piece, but then I was kind of thinking like, oh, that's kind of too much for a dishcloth, because I was looking on the internet and people are saying like, oh, like 5 to 6. I'm like, for a fundraiser? No. I mean, it would be nice because then I wouldn't have to make as many, but in the long run, who's gonna buy a dishcloth for $5 when they can go to Walmart and buy one for like 2 or 3? Even though these are higher quality and they are built to last, and they are the world's greatest dishcloth, as I have been told by many people. But I have decided, since I would be able to get a scholarship for $200, that I could knock the price down to $4 a piece, and I would only have to make, this is going to be a big number, 300 dishcloths, but I've already gotten like 8 of them done, or 8 or 9, I don't remember how many I had, but you can figure that out for yourself if you want to, no pressure. And yeah, so 300 dishcloths, but I have a lot of like card knitting time because I'm going on another conference in St. Louis over, I leave the day after Christmas, so that's like an 8-hour drive, so I can get like 2 or 3 knitted in that time. And then I also have like a month off from school for Christmas, so I can knit a lot in that time. So I think I calculated out that I have to knit 5 a day, but I mean, that's not too bad because they only take like probably knock one out in an hour and a half. Plus, that'll be a good time to catch up on my knitting podcasts, which I'll get more into that later of what ones I watch, and the list will probably grow uh, in the future. And yeah, so I got a lot on my plate. So yay! Hooray for dishcloths! And then I actually found I was in the process of knitting one in one of the little. So at my school, you have like a bunch of different academic buildings. Sorry, can't talk today. And they have like a lot of little secret little coves that you can sit in. And I went in there one day last week, and there was like no one in there. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I can just sit here and watch a podcast and knit my dishcloths. And one of the business professors came by, and they're like, oh, what are you crocheting? And I'm like, I'm not crocheting, I'm knitting. Not that I have anything against crocheting, I just can't crochet to save my life. And yeah, so she was very curious about what I was knitting, and she's like, oh, you're knitting dishcloths. And I'm like, yep. She's like, my mother used to knit those. And she's like, yeah, she used to make blankets out of them. I'm like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, she used to make them out of her scrap yarn. And I'm like, oh, I have thought of that, but needless to say, I won't be having any time to make a blanket out of these because these all will be going to be sold. So, and this is really hard for me to sell them because I've never sold anything before. But I think once I get them, like once I sell a few of them, then it'll be like, because you know, you put your hard work into it and it's like, oh, here, take it, just take it. But I was thinking of selling them like on oh, what is that, Etsy, but then I figured I'm like, you know, I kind of like to know like who they're going, well, not like who they're going to, but like um just like not happening to give them to a complete stranger, even though that's probably what will end up happening. But just like, and I guess like another thing is like paying like to ship them and all that, because that'll cost me more money that I don't really have the resources to spend. And then, plus my family has a family store, which is like a mile down from my house, and they always have like little fundraiser things for like the local schools and stuff. So my mom said that I could talk to my aunt about that and see if I can sell some dishcloths. So hopefully, I'm gonna talk to her sometime, probably over Thanksgiving, since we're having Thanksgiving late, so I can talk to her then and hopefully have them start selling them on December 1st, since I already have like a couple of them done, and there'll probably be more over Thanksgiving. And yeah, so hopefully that'll all work out so I can get some sold. Yay! And they do make good Christmas gifts, or any gift. And be like, oh, here, you're not doing like, or you're not having such a great day. Well, here, have a dishcloth, and you know, a bright rainbow colored dishcloth like this, and it'll brighten your day. Plus, they're just, you know, handy things to have. Like, they're great gifts for like bridal showers, birthdays, Christmas, anything like that. And you don't even have to use them as a dishcloth. You can just use it as a coaster or something, which is also nice because they're very versatile. I have figured out, so that should be uh, hopefully very interesting. So now that I've gone on a tangent about dishcloths, I'm going to move into some of my past finished objects. So bear with me while I'm not going to bother putting these back in the bag yet because that'll just make a whole lot of noise. I'm going to put them over there, and bear with me while I grab my one more finished object. So this next finished object was one that I made for my 4-H project about 2 years ago. Which, for those of you that don't know what 4-H is, it's a youth development program that we have like a county fair every year, and you basically you make a project and it gets judged, and they have like, you know, first, second, third, fourth, and all that stuff. And they have like merit stuff and state fair awards. And it's just basically a learning experience to, you know, use your imagination to make stuff. And or well, I guess it's not all, you know, like making stuff. It's like showing animals and stuff like that, which I'll get into that in another time because uh, I can go on for it for hours because I've shown rabbits for 5 years, and I can just go on and on for that. So I will not bore you with that. But if you do have questions, I would be more than happy to answer that. But going back to the knitting finished objects, I made a baby blanket out of the Cascade Pacific yarns, and I knit it out of oh wait, I have the things right here, excuse my reach. I made it out of the pink is the rose color, so it's like a very, and the stuff is just so soft. It's my favorite yarn. So this was the rose, and this was the gray was a taupe color, which it's a nice contrasting color. And then the purple was just a violet color. And I guess like the pattern I used, I just looked up a simple baby blanket pattern, but they had requirements from the Fair book that it had to be like a certain length. And my first year showing in the knitting project, the judge was very, very picky, and she would get out her little ruler and say, "Oh, you are like half an inch short. You get a lower ribbon because you were off by like a couple, like maybe like half an inch." And I'm like, that's not right. So I kind of made it bigger than what it was supposed to be. So I had to alter it. So I think there was like 350 stitches going all the way across in the middle. So I made it starting with, like, you know how you make the dishcloths? Start with like 4 stitches and you keep going and going and going and just keep increasing. That's basically what I did for, this is basically a giant dishcloth. So if you haven't noticed, I like the dishcloth pattern. I just love the dishcloth pattern. And the judge, when I went to take this in, she loved it because I had basically designed it myself and did like the mathematical making it bigger and all that stuff. So she just loved it, and I actually got my first little merit award, which is like it's not as good. Actually, I think it might be better than the state fair, but I'm not exactly sure because I've only had one merit award, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I got the little merit award, and they also gave me one of the Farm and Fleet trophies for I don't know exactly what that is for, but it's just another thing to say, oh, congratulations, you accomplished this kind of thing. And you know, so it was very nice. So I'm going to continue to I'll probably make another one of these sometime in the future, but probably not for a while since I have a lot of dishcloths to make. But I will have, like, since I'm from a huge family, I have like 28 cousins, all related, and I'll probably when they start having children, I'll probably make blankets for them just because, you know, it's something simple and it's something nice. And they're just so soft, and you know, it's something simple, quote quote, but it should be nice. So that's one finished object. And then another project that I made, excuse my reach, was a couple of dishcloths, wow, pot holders. And this was actually my first real project. I used to make like long stretches of knitting, and I'd never do anything with them. Like, oh, it's a scarf, yay! And I had like a lot of them, and you know, they were just, you know, simple little things. Didn't really look like much, but I had a very good imagination, so that was always helpful. So my first project was these little basket weave dishcloths, and I made this out of the Yarn Bee, which is from Hobby Lobby, the Whimsy Bulky in the creamsicle colorway. And it's like a 2-ply little thing, so I kind of put 2 together and kind of, I don't remember what I used. I used a crochet hook to put them together. I don't exactly remember what that was. But yeah, this actually went very well. And my grandma, or yeah, I'm gonna call her my grandma. Yep, because we met her in Hobby Lobby and we didn't know anything about yarn or anything like that. And I had actually picked up this felt yarn and thinking, oh, I want to make the pot holders into this, or like make pot holders out of this. And felt, not such a great choice. So she helped us find the yarn. And then my mom had asked if she taught how to knit. And she's like, yes, I've taught like a lot of my family members. And so my mom and her exchanged numbers and we went over. And ever since that day, we have been like this. So I call her my grandma now. So it works out very nice. And I just love her to pieces. And then I guess one more finished object that I completed last year. You excuse my reach again. This was a Christmas present for my mom. It was my first infinity scarf. And I just made it out of some Red Heart yarn. I don't exactly remember the colorway, but I'm going to call it the cotton candy colorway because it looks like cotton candy. Because it has like some purples, some pink, and some teal, and some light blue. And I made these on size 11 needles in the seed stitch pattern way, I think. And yeah, so it turned out quite nice, and I gave it to my mom for Christmas, and she loves it, so that's always nice. So I kind of had to steal it out of her closet in order to show you guys, but she won't mind. And yeah, so that's this one. Oh, and I completely forgot to tell you what needles I used on the past 2 projects. So these were size 9 needles, and on the blanket I used size 10. So, and those are all in the show notes, so if I forgot to add anything, it'll all be in the show notes. So yes. Then, to excuse my reach again, too much finished objects. I'm just gonna grab one more. There we go. Okay, that's just gonna sit right there. So I have, last year I learned how to make the little baby bibs, since I have a lot of younger cousins, or second cousins, but you know, I just call them my cousins. So I found these cute little baby bibs since I had some extra cotton yarn, which there will be a lot of extra cotton yarn. So this one was just like a little boy one with like some blues and some yellows and some greens and maybe just a little bit of purple. And yeah, so I thought these were kind of cute, and I added, since I have a huge stash of buttons from like old sweaters and stuff like that we don't really use in my house, so I just added a cute little button. And yeah, very cute. And who doesn't need a baby bib when they have kids? Because babies are notorious for spilling stuff on their bibs, so you always need a lot of them. So what a great gift. And I actually gave one away. It was a pink, orange, and white one, so that one was very pretty. I liked that one, so hopefully I can find the same colors and make some more of those, because that was my favorite colors. So this one, oh, and I made these on size 7 needles, and yeah, so there's the one. And then this one was, I think this was my first one that I ever made. So it was like white, and it has like some purple, some kind of I don't know what kind of green you call that, kind of like I don't know what kind of green, like a dark forest green-ish, maybe, like a golden green. And then this little yellow, light yellow, and then I just added a little white strip because I ran out of this yarn. So it's actually a great way to get rid of your scrap yarn. So I may have to do that after the dishcloths. And then I just added a cute little button, and yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I probably will give this one to my cousin who is expecting a little boy in January, so I will probably give this one to her since I have no use for them because I'm only 20. I don't have kids and probably won't for a very, very, very long time. So yeah, so I can give this one away. But this one, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. Oh well, I'll figure it out eventually. And then one more finished object, and then it's on to the works in progress. So yay! So this one was a project that I made just this past year for the 4-H fair, and this was just a simple pillow since I was going to make a pair of socks, and it didn't exactly go as planned because I had never made a pair of socks before, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, I can make a pair of socks. That was not a great idea, because I was nowhere near being done. So I just made this simple pillow that I had started, and this was actually going to be for a friend for their birthday, but I kind of put it away for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to make it as a 4-H project, so this is what that happened into. So I made this out of just some simple red heart yarn. I think this one was the teal color for that, and then a light raspberry, I think it was. Let me see here. Light raspberry, yes. And I used size 8 needles, and then I just put for the bottom, I just like, or all the way around, I just used like a embroidery needle and just whip stitched it together. And yeah, but the judge, when I went to get this entered in the fair, she said one question, or she told me one thing about it. She's like, you're very even. And they're usually supposed to, like, you know, give you a lot of like feedback about like, oh, like, did you like kind of ask like what was your process of doing this? But she just kind of looked at it and, you know, so I was like, okay. But they gave me a blue ribbon, so I was alright with that. And I guess, oh, and I just used a simple little craft pillow from the local craft store. So yeah, my first pillow, it turned out great. But then I do have another pillow that I'm working on, but I will show that probably next week, or the next episode, because that one, I'm very proud of that one, but I'm also proud of this one. Yay! End of the finished objects. Yay! Alright, now moving into the works in progress, which I only have one. Big shocker there. But I only have one pair of size 7 needles, so actually I have 2. But I like working with do excuse my reach one more time. Oh, sorry, I just knocked the computer. Oh dear. But I actually have the circular size 7 knitting needles, because I actually like how it's easier for me to make the dishcloths instead of using like the big long needles, because that's not me. So I'm actually experimenting with using 2 different colors for a dishcloth, and I'm using the lime green, which it looks like it's turning yellow on the computer screen, which I wish it wouldn't do that, but what can I do? But yeah, it's like a lime green. Let's see if I can get it to go. Like kind of like that, a lime green, and then this purple that I had used for another dishcloth. So there's the purple, and it actually turned out very, very well. I actually made a little bit of a mistake on like the bottom of it, because I had put the 2 colors together, which you're not supposed to do, but it was just an experiment, so I'll probably, I mean, it's not going to come undone, it just looks a little funny, but I mean, a dishcloth is a dishcloth, so if the people who buy it don't like it, then I'll just be like, okay, I'll make you another one. But yeah, so it turned out really pretty so far of what I have. Because I was just finishing up a podcast and I'm like, I have 15 minutes left. What can I do for 15 minutes? So then, yeah. So it actually turned out very, very pretty. So I look forward to finishing this one hopefully sometime this week because I have a lot of stuff to do. I have to study for a test, finish an art project, and yeah. And it's Thanksgiving, did I mention that? But I will hopefully be getting a lot of stuff done over Thanksgiving, knitting wise. So yeah. Oh, excuse me, I flip my notes over. And then I guess going into the upcoming projects, I plan on making bookmarks for Christmas gifts for my Bible study that I am co-leading this semester or this year. And they're like little, very simple little bookmarks, but they have like a little cross going in the bookmark. And since there's only one guy in my Bible study, I didn't want to make it like a really girly one because there are more girls than there are guys. And I was like in the process, I'm like, well, gee, what color am I gonna get? Because I don't know what their favorite colors are, and I don't really want to ask. And be like, oh, what are your favorite colors? I'm making something for your Christmas gift. Because I just want to just do it and keep it a little secret. So I was searching around on the Hobby Lobby website, and because the pattern called for like really fine yarn, and plus like a bookmark, I don't want it to be like super thick yarn because it's not gonna, it'll like make the book go, instead of like laying like a little bit like that, it'll go like that, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I ended up going with the Lion Brand ice cream shop. I think it's ice cream shop. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's yeah. So I went with the Lion Brand, and the colorway is the lemon swirl. It's got like some blue, some really light blue, some light yellow, and some white. So it's very it's not like super girly. Well, it's not girly. It's like, it's right in the middle. So I hope they all like it. So I have a lot of things to get done with that. And yeah, so that pretty much sums up my knitting for the week. Lots of knitting. So I guess going on to what's been going on in my life. Since I live in Wisconsin and it is about the end of November, we got about 9.9 inches of snow in one day. Yes, I said 9.9 inches. So it's just a winter wonderland in Wisconsin right now. Well, actually, just in like the part of Wisconsin that I live in like the southern part, which we were the ones that got the most snow, and it's great. But luckily I didn't have to shovel it. I didn't even have to clean off my car because my parents decided that, oh, we'll just shovel the walk. Or my dad used the snowblower, so yay! And then they were nice enough to clean off my car, even though I didn't go anywhere. But yeah, we got 9.9 inches of snow, and we were actually supposed to travel to Madison on Friday night, which is when it was snowing really bad. But we decided, no, we're gonna go to my cousin's concert on Saturday. Which that was actually nice because I was the one that had to drive, and I didn't really want to drive in the snow. Because that would not be fun because the roads were really slippery and it would have not been fun. So we ended up driving up yesterday to Madison to watch my cousin who performs in an a cappella group called Redefined, and that concert was amazing. And yes, it was just a lot of fun. And they sang like a lot of songs that like you hear on the radio today, and it was just really, really fun. And plus, I mean, college students, which I'm a college student, so I was kind of like, I felt right at home, like, yay, I'm with people that are like, college students, yay. Although their college is a lot bigger than my college campus, and yeah, we got the scenic tour because we went to the wrong building, and yeah, so that was very interesting, but we found it and we didn't miss anything. So I guess going back to like my dorm life, I live in a dorm and they have like little activities that you can participate in. So I participated in the tie-dyeing that they had this week, and it worked out very, very, very well because I actually had I needed a white t-shirt for my art project, which I'll get into that more next week because I've already been rambling for a little bit. And so I had a spare t-shirt, so I'm like, oh, I'll just use this. And yeah, so I will post a picture of that hopefully at the end because it turned out very nice. And then after the tie-dyeing, I had went back to my room for a little bit, and then one of the neighbors down the hall was like, oh, do you want to come make brownies? And I'm like, okay, I'll make brownies. So I sat down there for like a couple hours and we all made brownies and we all ate them. Brownies, they were so good. And then I guess on Thursday night, one of the local churches puts on a free Thanksgiving meal for the Christian organizations on campus. And yeah, and the food was all homemade. It was all super, super good. They had a lot of desserts. And when I was going through the line, the people were like, oh, do you want some squash? Or no, it wasn't squash. It was sweet potatoes. And I'm like, yes, please. One of everything, please. Thank you. So, and I ate everything because college students, we don't turn down free food. So, especially homemade. So, yay, free food. So that was very, very nice. Even though we had to walk all the way there and all the way back, but we bundled up in our winter coats and hats and mittens, and we walked there, and it was very nice. So, yay! And I guess that brings me to the end of my podcast. So, I guess I have one more thing to add, the question section. So I have a Ravelry thread going, so I'm gonna update a question on there. Since it snowed outside, which I will add a couple of pictures at the end of what the snow looked like, because we have a lot of icicles on our house, and there's one giant icicle that I really want to get a picture of before it falls. So I guess the question would be, do you like or dislike the snow? So you can comment in the Ravelry thread your answers, and yeah, so I'd just be curious to hear like if you like the snow or if you dislike it, and yeah, just to see how many people are like me who I mean, I personally like the snow, I just don't like driving in it, but I guess like I live in one of the snowy parts of the United States, so we get a lot of it, so I'm pretty good at driving in the snow. It's just, you gotta look out for the other people, so, who don't know how to drive in the snow. Yay, that's always fun. But yes, if you could leave your answers in the Ravelry thread, then I will look forward to seeing your answers. So thank you for joining me for my podcast, and I will hopefully be posting again over the weekend. But yeah, and you can find me on Ravelry as Knitting by Hillary, and on YouTube and Instagram as Little HK Knits. So thank you all for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the photos at the end of the video. Thank you! Bye!